Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and I appreciate you being here at the channel today. And for those of you that have not yet done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the content that's provided, if you find it beneficial, please hit that like button as well. Now our topic for you today, it's planning your staff training program. Planning your staff training program. I want to give you 6 things to look at, to help get this in line for you. And so number 1, analyze what are your training needs. Okay, does your front desk staff need to be trained? Okay, do they need a process of how to do things, how to handle incoming calls, how to handle customer service calls? If someone comes up and something's broke, how do they handle maintenance issues? I mean, there's a lot of things in there. Does front desk need to be trained? Sales team, does sales team have a sales process? They have a process for the second sale. They have a process for following up. There's a lot in here. So analyze what your training needs are. So that's the first thing we want to do. Analyze, what our training needs are. And unless we've been doing this, you probably need more than you might think, right? Number 2, you want to create a plan to fill these training gaps. So these things that we need, okay, here's all the things that we need. What's the plan to fill that? What's the plan to fill that? Some of that could be you could use the channel here, okay, and you could give people 2 or 3 videos that they look at every day, and that becomes points of discussion, for training meetings that you have. So that could be an easy way to do it, and certainly an easy way to start. Okay, is things that are already there, and quite frankly, won't cost you anything. Okay, so make sure we create a plan to fill these training gaps for us. Number 3 on our list is invest in the tools and the resources that you're going to need. Okay, maybe you might need to get some training yourself so that you know how to train, or maybe you bring somebody in to do it. Okay, maybe somebody comes in and does this training and gets this ramped up for you. Maybe some of the tools that you need, maybe you have a policies and procedures manual that people are required to follow. Do you have a sales training manual? You might need to invest in some of this, to get some of this prepared, because what you're not trying to do, you don't want to fly by the seat of your pants, and we have an obligation. Our obligation is to give 100% of ourselves to make others as good as they can be. So if we brought somebody on board, we have an obligation to give 100% of ourselves to make these folks as good as they can be. So, let's make sure we invest in the tools and the resources that we're going to need. And again, if you're looking for things that are cost effective, consider checking out this channel. We have, by now, 800 or so videos, and the lion's share of them are how-to videos that you can utilize for that. Or, we can schedule 1-day, 2-day on-site workshops, webinars, conference calling. There's a lot of ways that this can be done, okay? But you want to make sure you invest in it, because, that your most valuable asset that you have is going to be your people, no matter what. I don't care how much you spend in equipment. I don't care what your building finish out was. Your most valuable asset is going to be your people. Number 4, develop your course content. If you're going to be doing this yourself, you're going to learn how to do it. Develop your content. What is your agenda? How is this going to be presented? I know when I go out and do some of these that are kind of basic, sales training, marketing training, prospecting training. I mean, we'll go in many cases, we'll do a 6-hour training class the first day and a 6-hour training class the next. And it's all spelled out. Here's all the content. And so whatever it is that you need, okay, if it's content on how to prospect, how to answer the phone, how to track numbers, our daily productivity reports, how to write a plan of action, how to use a needs analysis, how to give a tour, how to give a price presentation. You want to develop all this course content that you're going to need. Next is you want to implement your training. Okay, I know when I own my clubs, I do this a little bit differently now as a consultant, but when I own my clubs, our whole onboarding, we would do a Monday through Thursday, and I think we were doing like 10 to 2 Monday through Thursday, and we would do training. It was all the core training, what people would need to know, and they would have homework assignments, and we'd do role playing and all of that. But part of the things that I would do as well is I would also bring in my managers, and whatever they were best at, I would have them help train on that, okay, because I wanted them involved. But what it also did, what I was also trying to do was not only train folks, but I wanted to train the trainer. Okay, because just because someone is good at something doesn't necessarily mean they know how to train it. So if I had a good manager, maybe they're really good at getting referrals, well, I would bring them in and I wanted them to now start training on how to do that. Okay, how do we duplicate ourselves? So I was kind of developing my managers at the same time I was training others that were coming in. And then finally on our list, you want to continually measure and audit. Okay, we've got our training program, continually measure these results. This is going to go back to key performance indicators and knowing what our numbers are, okay, and then auditing what's happening every single day. And I know, again, going back to when I owned my clubs, if somebody was not hitting their expectations, not hitting their quotas, not hitting their numbers, they may not stay with us, okay? But if they did, we would require them to go through training again, okay? It's part of the accountability process of it. You're going to have to know it because, A, I don't want you practicing on the paying customer, and B, we spend too much time, too much energy, and too much money to get people to call, to get people to come in, just to wing it. We want to follow a proven process when they do. So, take a look at this. Set up a plan, for your staff training. You want to make sure you get your staff trained. This is your most valuable asset in your gym. More valuable than any finish out. I don't care if you spend $100 a foot. Okay, it's more valuable than any marketing program, more valuable than all that equipment. Okay, it's your people. Let's make sure you get them trained, get this information together. So take a look at this. If you need some help on this, hit me up. Happy to make available to you a complimentary 45-minute strategy session. See if we can't walk you through this and provide you some additional insight. You can check that out in the links below. And if you found this information beneficial, please consider hitting the like button. I appreciate it. And folks, hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon.